My mission is very simple, and it's based on my own sensitivity to human pain, especially adolescents who may be at risk or discouraged learners or AODA kids or dysfunctional family survivors or any of these gray area kids. I mean, they make the statistics, but statistics are just indicators of real human pain. So, as a psychotherapist and an educator, I put my diagnostic skills to this particular task. In other words, just what is all this confusion, depression, violence? What's all this about in kids today? And after a lot of research, including talking with teachers and kids, I came up with a very startling answer. Directionlessness. I mean, these kids don't know who they are, and they don't know where they're going. How can the school change all this? How can teachers help students know where they're going in their lives? Well, I took a little process that I used to use with adult clients, and with quite a bit of modification and some really great input from teachers and feedback from kids that we tested it on. I constructed this paper pencil worksheet that helps a kid clearly identify what their strengths are and what kind of purpose in life would move them in a positive direction. If one has a mission or purpose in life, one now has a very powerful tool by which to measure how one should allocate one's available resources. Just for the record, what are those resources? Time, money, and energy. Now, without a purpose, you just act impulsively or by old habits. Or you go along with the most persuasive people around you. Well, I get asked that a lot. How much time does this take? And I understand. Teachers are already busy. They have heavy schedules, and every new thing comes along is like piled on top. But a teacher can do this in 2 one-hour sessions. And understand the school doesn't tell the kids what their mission is. It just provides the process, the scaffolding for the child to develop their own mission in life. And 2 hours. That's all it takes to help kids develop a sense of true north on their life's compass. 2 hours, and they're thrilled by it. They see the value of it. It changes their lives for the better. And isn't that why we educators are in this business in the first place? The youth mission process can be performed by teachers in middle school or high school in any of the content areas. As an example, let's visit a social studies class in a high school where Mr. Wes Bolin is presenting the youth mission process.
All educators want their students to have some kind of mission, whether it's unstated or not. But by having this written down like this and having them go through the process, it really helps teachers to help students find that direction that they'd like to take in their lives. So that sense of mission is very important. It gives some purpose, some direction in life. And if there are challenges, you can get through them because you know where you're going. You know what you want to try to accomplish. You may have a mission in life that's as big and affects as many people as Martin Luther King, or you may have one that is much more modest, more smaller in focus, but still as important. It's important because it's your mission, it's what you want to do in life. And that's what we want to do here today. We want to try to take you through a process so that you can develop a sense of mission. so that you can make decisions about what are the goals that I'm going to have and what objectives, what things can I do to achieve that mission. Developing your own mission takes some inward thought, some inward looking here to develop real presence of what do you want to accomplish. And there is a sense of spirituality about that. Is it a religious experience? It could be, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. And this is not intended to be a religious experience, right? Public schools, this is not intended to be a religious experience. But something inside you should help you to determine where you're going. What is your mission in life? And that's what we want to help you to try to do today. The first thing I'd like you to do in that process is to think. Think about what the world would be like if you had the power to make it a perfect place. If you had the power to make the world a perfect place, what would it be like? Don't write anything down, just think about it quietly for a few moments. I'd like you to write those thoughts down in about 20 words or less. If you had the power to make the world perfect, what would it look like? All right. I can see that most of you did just an outstanding job of reflecting upon that ideal world, that perfect world, because the ideas started coming out very quickly. You've got a lot of ideas down there, I can tell. They're in, some of you have a more detailed statement than others. That's fine. Others are a little bit more to the point. No problems either way. Now what we'd like you to do is move on to the second step. In this step, we'd like you to think about things that are positive about yourself. There is a list of things right down there. There are qualities that you might find positive about yourself. Put a little check mark right next to all of those that you can think of that are good things about you as a person. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do, the third step, is we are going to take a look at different abilities that you have. We would like you to figure out how do you like to express those abilities by doing certain things. And I have a list for you right here of possibilities. And there are countless, endless different possibilities that you could add on here. And so what I'd like you to do is put a little check mark on this list that I will hand to you. What are the things that you like to do? We're going to take that ideal statement. We're going to take the abilities that you have, the talents, positive qualities that you have, and we're going to take the things that you like to do, and we're going to put them together to begin to create a mission statement. And some of you will find that this will fit together very easily, and others will have a little bit more difficulty with it. I'd like you to use your imagination, be creative. How can these things fit together? You're going to think about that. I'll provide you with a sentence or a blank piece of paper with a few words in it, and you're going to fit those things together so that you create your own mission statement. Now, before you go on to step number 5 that's listed there, I'd like you to take a look at the paragraph down on the bottom of the page. Because I think a lot of you probably felt, boy, this mission doesn't really seem to fit me right now. And that's all right. Because you may change it, and it may change over time. That's fine. it is a continual process, and you have to understand that. But I'd like you to look at that sentence there. Remember, this is a process concerned with the trajectory of your life. Somebody tell me what the word trajectory means. Ken?
The way something is traveling.
Good. The way something is traveling. Anything else? When you think of something with a trajectory, what do you think of?
Which way it's going.
Okay, which way it's going? Pardon me?
How fast.
How fast. You kind of think of speed. And life seems to go pretty fast. And there's a lot of things that happen, and you have a sense of direction if you have a mission. And this mission is to help determine your trajectory. Perhaps it's the trajectory of a rocket taking off. That's the path. It has speed. It kind of explodes in a certain direction. And that's what your life should do. It should take off in a certain direction with a certain sense of mission. Where am I going? So with that idea in mind, I'd like you to look at number 5. Number 5, you're going to polish up your grammar. You're going to take the ideas that you have down in number 4, because number 4, you took and put together the qualities that you have, the things you like to do, and your ideal world statement, and you combine them. Now we want it to make some sense. Put it together so that it kind of makes sense to you. Hey, nice job on that. I can tell that you people put a lot of thought into this, and it's a difficult thing to do, to combine some of these qualities that you have and put them in that ideal statement to develop a sense of mission. It's not an easy thing to do. And I appreciate the efforts that you've put into this here. This should not be the end of the process, however. I'd like you to take this home with you tonight. Take it to study hall with you today. Think about it for a few minutes in study hall. Think about it tonight, perhaps before you go to bed. How does this mission fit with myself? Not with what I'm doing right now, what I'd really like to be doing, what I'd like to have my life do. And then bring this back tomorrow.
The first part of the process takes about an hour at most. I think it's really important for the students to have a day or two to finalize their writing on this, to reflect on it, to ponder what it means to them, shape it up, and bring it back in preparation to share with the rest of the class. Taking this amount of time, I think, sends a good message about the gravity of the impact of this process in their lives.
All right. Well, how did the mission statements go? I talked with a lot of you yesterday at the end of class, and you seemed pretty happy with the combination of your skills, your talents, your abilities, and in all those activities that you like to do, and combining those together. Most of you seem pretty comfortable that you could find some way to put those together with your ideal statement into a pretty positive mission. All of you have those positive qualities about you. You take a look at mine, you might think, well, Mr. Bolin, I didn't really know that about you, and that's fine. A mission statement does reveal some things about you that not everybody knows. And that's great, because it is supposed to come from inside. Today, what I'd like us to do is to share those with one another. Not that you're going to allow someone else to read that, but I'd like you to kind of make a statement, make a declaration. And part of a mission is you can have a mission, but you need to be able to kind of stand up and make a stance and say, yep, this is what I believe in, this is who I am, and this is where I'm going in my life.
I think that if a kid or a teenager doesn't know what direction they're going in, and they really don't know what they want to do yet, that a mission statement is a really good tool because it gives them, they make a pact with themselves, and it gives them a goal to live up to, and that they have something right in front of them that they can look back on a few years from now, like I did, and say, hey, I accomplished that, I did that, I reached my goal. Throughout our lifetime, we come across a lot of choices that we have to make, and you just hit that fork in the road, and sometimes you just don't know where to go. And if you have your mission statement, it gives you an idea of what direction you should go in.
Well, everybody wants to grow up. I can remember as a kid thinking, well, if I could just, when I grow up, then all these great things are going to happen. But people can grow up in a million different ways. Some people grow up and die prematurely. Some people grow up and are miserable. Some people grow up and are broke all the time. Some people grow up and wind up in prison, or they're ill. So it's a question not so much of growing up, it's a question of growing up and winding up where. The mission statement is a way to help you guarantee that you will grow up in a better place than you would if you just took random shots at the future. It's an attempt to deliberately place oneself in some wonderful place in the future, as opposed to just kind of playing Russian roulette with your life.